everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Today's card project features one of my favorite go-to approaches for creating a card. I love to create a pretty background and then top it with a big type greeting. This is such an easy way to create a fun card, especially if you're not super confident with your stamping and coloring skills. You can make a funky background, you can put on a nice big greeting, and just like that, you've got an awesome card to send. This card also ran over on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel, but I wanted to share it here with you in case you missed it. You know, it's kind of cute. Stick around, that card project is coming up next. Here's a look at the card I'll be creating today, and you can see I've got a pretty background, I've got a big type greeting, and the card packs a lot of happy punch. So let's jump into the project and look at the products I'm using today. I've got a few inks here from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to create a background with this big funky Tim Holtz stencil. It's really big. When I got it in the mail, I was kind of surprised at how big it was, and I thought it would be great with a big greeting from a stamp set that I designed for Simon. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is create this background, and any stencil will work for this. You can grab something in your stash, but I love these wonky circles on this ginormous tag. I'm working today on a Tonic Studios mat. This is a magnetic mat that will hold my stencil in place. And all I'm going to do is bring in the colors in rainbow order. I tend to work with the same colors over and over again because that is kind of my color wheelhouse. But anytime you take a partial rainbow, it's going to look fantastic, especially with this technique. So pick 3 or 4 colors in rainbow order, start anywhere in the rainbow you want, and you're going to create a beautiful blend. The magnets hold the stencil in place beautifully, and I'm just blending on the ink, going back over a few areas to aid the transition, and I thought I'd add a little more pink up at the top. And that's it, a quick and easy and colorful background. Isn't that cute? Don't worry about the ink on the sides, we're going to trim this down. Next, I wanted to find a greeting that would look good on this blend, and I thought Hello Gorgeous would be really cute, so I'm stamping this out on the same cardstock, and the cardstock I'm using today is the Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. Just rubbing my finger over to prime the stamp a little because this is the first time I'm using it. And then we'll prep our cardstock with the anti-static powder tool. This lays down a nice little bit of powder and removes static or any oil from your cardstock so that when you take your embossing ink, and here I'm using Versamark, when you stamp that down, your embossing powder should only stick to the stamped image and the rest will fall away. So I'm using my stamp press tool and adding my first pass, and I thought I would reposition my cardstock just to make sure it's pressed right into that corner and stamp it again for a really nice coating of the ink. Once that's transferred, it's time to add our embossing powder. I'm going to use the ultrafine antique gold powder from Simon Says Stamp. This is a very warm color, and I love it whenever I'm using warm tones on the rainbow, which my card has at least for the first 3. Green kind of splits the difference, but this powder looks great with warm colors. And if any powder doesn't fall away, just take a dry brush. This angled shader is great for this. Just brush away any tiny little errant pieces you see before you heat up your tool and melt the powder. I'll just work my way around until all the powder is melted, and I love that warm, glowy color. It's such a pretty powder. Isn't that nice? Next, I'll take the coordinating die for this stamp set and cut out the greeting. All of the large greetings in this set have coordinating dies that you can purchase. And I'll also trim down this panel. Now, I'm using one of my A2 layers dies, and that is the general arrangement. Isn't that fun? Off camera, I stamped on some dull pink cardstock 2 greetings that I wanted to try, and I'm using my Simon Says Stamp sentiment labels to cut out the one that I decided to go with, mostly because I stamped it better than the other one. I'll bring in my Tim Holtz mini trimmer here just to trim down my greeting, and I love to do this. I line it up with about, I don't know what that space is, half of a letter space, push it right to that guard, and that's how you can quickly trim your sentiment strips nice and evenly from side to side. I'm taking another piece of the Neenah Solar White in the 110, and we're going to score this at 4 1/4, and this is going to be a landscape card. So when it folds down, it's going to be 5.5 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall, a standard US A2. I always like to tape my card bases closed before I start adhering my elements because it pops open because it's such sturdy cardstock. I've got some foam tape on the back of my blended panel, and I'll pop that down onto the card base with that wonderful framing margin space in white. Isn't that pretty? Really makes it pop. I've got the same foam tape on the back of the large greeting, and I'll add a little bit of liquid glue. This is Connect glue from Gina K, and I just keep it in this little squeeze bottle. I like to do this so I have just a little bit of wiggle room before I commit to the placement, because foam tape sticks so hard and fast, and this really helps you to get it right where you want it. And I'll use the same liquid glue just to put this substrip sentiment right onto the card base. I thought that would look nice to have one layer of dimension with the greeting and tuck this just underneath with the Missing You So Much. I love how the dull pink picks up that pink color from the left. Oh, love how this looks. So easy, right? Let's finish it off with just a little shine, some confetti style sequins. I like to have an odd number, and we just put down some glue and boop, pop it down. And I didn't want to put them right in the center of any of the wonky circles, so just kind of create an offset, and there you go. That's the finished card. So I love this idea, right? Funky background, big bold greeting. There are so many directions you can go with this, so I hope this inspires you to create something today. You can find links to all the supplies in today's video below in the YouTube description box. I'll see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.